All right, well, we've reached the time. We can go ahead and start the meeting, June 6, 2023. I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. Jane, you want to do roll call?
Rudolph.
Here.
Shaven.
Here.
Kroger.
Here.
Peterson, I don't think is on yet. Lindbergh.
Here.
And Councilmember Bielenberg was going to be absent this evening.
Okay. We've all gotten an agenda. I don't think there's any changes to that. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Kroger got the motion, and I'm going to give it to Shaben for the second. So.
Okay, roll call. Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Aye.
Lindbergh. Tell me if he joins.
And any conflicts, you can state them now or along the way. Under the consent agenda, all these are under one motion, one roll call vote. We have minutes of the May 16th, 2023 council meeting. Claims lists 1291 in the amount of $1,070,406.52. And Jane can explain those. There's one or two large ones there
The
that
bond payment.
happen this time of the year in June.
Yep.
Has to be paid for the end of
Over
the
900,000, so, yeah.
Okay. And the renewal application for Harlan Golf and Country Club Class C retail alcohol license. Any questions or concerns about those?
No, Jennifer did a good job of explaining the claim list, so I will go ahead and make the motion to approve consent agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Lindbergh, second by Kroger.
Roll call. Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson. Can you hear us, Richard?
Yep. Aye.
Lindbergh.
Aye.
Thank you.
Richard, Gene says I have to give you a tardy ticket for not being here at 5:15, so we'll let you know what that is. Thanks for jumping in.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. Item number 3A, ordinance 2023-03, amending chapter 155 of the Code of Ordinances for the city of Harlan, Iowa, pertaining to adoption of construction and maintenance codes. This is a first reading, but this is a first reading. We just had to change some numbers, dates, and different things weren't correct first time around, so.
Yes, I'll be happy to just make a few introductory comments on this. What looks to be very, 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 very similar to what was on the last meeting agenda. This is the first reading again. There was just a couple of dates that just did not get changed, which are vital when we're updating an ordinance. And that was just simply a matter of Scribner and oversight, so nothing's that was of any substance or to the change. And asked Roger Beeson, our building inspector, fire chief, to give some additional background that on top of what I provided last meeting. And the main catalyst for this, the primary catalyst, is to get this updated and be current with preparing for eventual getting to rental code inspection and wanting to be on a similar version that SWIPCO is operating under. It was at their recommendation that we get updated to this 2018 version. And with that, if Roger, if you want to make any other comments, just the version this brings us up to, and also why many municipalities don't go to the, well, why aren't we on the 22 or 21 version?
In addition to the SWIPCO edition, so we're mirroring the same as SWIPCO. This also mirrors the state of Iowa. So it really works well if the municipalities are on the same version as the state. Because sometimes if you're on a different version and the state says, code says one thing and ours says something different, it just makes things a lot easier. So it's just keeping up with the current codes. And the International Code Council, they have a panel across the country that of engineers and architects, contractors that review the current codes, and they're always making new improvements to make our buildings safer.
And Gene, you mentioned 2012, now it's 2018 is what we're going off. Is it going to happen like in 2024 then? Is it going to happen
A
again?
lot of times the state goes every other cycle instead of every, it gets updated every 3 years.
Okay.
So the state will actually update
Bless
every
you.
6.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
And we've been considering doing this the last year or two, and at least the last 2 years, and with meeting with SWPCO back a few months, we want to get this in place as a step to get this ordinance change out of the way, or updated.
Okay.
And as stated last time, I would recommend that the council consider at least giving this a second reading. There's no sense of urgency or timeliness with this that's needed, so I would offer that as well. But this will be the first reading of the newest version.
Okay.
Right.
Motion for 2023-03.
Motion.
Motion by Rudolph, second by Kroger.
Roll call, Rudolph,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Thank you.
And item B, review the changes to the Constitution of the Harlan Fire Department, Article, is that 8? Section 2. This mainly has to do with residency.
Residency. We, for many years, for over 35 years, that's how long I've been on the department, but we've always had a residency requirement. Years ago, it is stated that we must live in the city limits to be on the fire department. Then we changed it to 2 miles outside the city limits, and then a few years after that, we went to 5 miles, and you had to live within the fire district. And it's getting harder and harder to just come up with people. So we're totally just taking the residency out. The reason why we want to do that is we've been approached by other folks that work in Harlan, but they don't live here. And so they're here 40 hours a week. And they could never join the department because they didn't live here. So this will give us the opportunity for someone that works in Harlan, if they have the capabilities to respond Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So.
And it's my understanding the Harlan Fire Board's already approved this. The city
Yes.
council just needs concurrence with it. Okay.
Yes, and we voted on it at our May meeting.
Okay.
So these are the minutes. Roger wasn't able to get them to us till today, but here's a copy of the minutes that I can pass around if you guys want to see that it was approved by that.
So, I mean, the residency, there is no residency restriction now. I mean, it's just basically if you want to be on Harlan Fire, the application come in.
If someone lived in Elkhorn and they worked in Harlan.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to be a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone lives in Elkhorn and they work in Atlantic and they want to join our department, we'll be
Yeah.
like, no. But if there's good justification to it, yeah, then we would take a look at that.
yeah, and those who are active members on other departments in the county too, I mean, that work in Elkhorn, or not working, work in Harlan, so makes complete sense to me. What are your total numbers now?
We are sitting at 24.
And what's full roster for insurance purposes?
40.
40, wow.
It also states in the city code that we must maintain a minimum of 18.
Yep.
So, but we're taking other steps to recruit, and we're always trying to find somebody that would be willing to join and serve the community.
It's crazy how much volunteerism has gone down over the years.
Just like in our EMS meeting that the Board of Supervisors this morning, it's not a Harlan and Shelby County
Yeah,
problem.
right.
it's global.
It's across the state, it's across the country. So,
And Roger, you're also taking out the 6 months of experience, is that right?
no.
Or how does that read?
When we had the residency, we required you to live here 6 months
Oh, okay.
Prior to that.
prior
Be in the
to,
area 6 months, okay,
yeah, that's what the 6 months was.
thank you. Okay.
And again, 30-some years ago, it used to be 12 months. But we just
looks like.
If we had a waiting list, we wouldn't be doing this, but
Yeah.
we don't have a waiting list.
Okay, is there a motion for this one?
I will make that motion.
Second?
Motion by Lindberg, second by Kroger.
Roll call Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Item C is review the joint participation agreement between the City of Harlan and SWPCO for SWITA service starting July 1, 2023 through June 30th of 2024. I guess this is
This
timing.
is an
for the
annual
thing we always
renewal.
do.
This is before us each year. And ironically, Todd Valine, who is here with us as well, Todd is on the SWPCO board. Once again, this is our part of our Regional Transportation Authority. And as far as the substance and content of the agreement has not changed, the fee has not changed. It's updating for the new renewal or for the next fiscal year, July 1. And we had included this at budget time. And once again, SWITA through SWPCO continues to be a great partner. In fact, I know Todd will provide an update with his, as far as summertime activities. I'm sure he'll comment on some of the services they're providing in this summer. Again, for, in this case, youth, but it's a transportation service for those who need it, for regular taxi service, and also for those that are less than able-bodied. So it truly is a taxi service and serves the multi-county area. Once again, great partner, and we utilize SWPCO and SWITA for many other things as well.
Okay, is there a motion for this joint participation agreement?
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Kroger, second by Lindberg.
Roll call Rudolph.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item D is Resolution 2533, setting public hearing date of June 20th, 2023 at 5:15 PM on the proposed sale of city property lots 41 through 44 of G.H. Christensen subdivision. And there were some explanations in our packets with this. We genuinely talk about it, what all happens, I guess, to make sure.
Great news and update that we've got an offer to purchase some additional of the lots out of the Christensen subdivision. And similar to any time we're dealing with public property, you need to go through the notice and hearing process, so this will be published in the paper. Through last year's resolution, have continued to keep the lots for sale at $1,000, so there's been an offer for 4 lots, which is what will be published in the notice, and the public hearing will be at the next meeting. And those lots are those along the west side on Gary Skull. And interested party building 2 homes to meet the guidelines. There's got to be minimum square footage, just under 1,500 square foot of main level to meet that requirement. And then the other item would like to point out, and it's noted in the resolution, it's as far as a sale through contract. And what that means is similar to what we did with the 811 Willow property that we had acquired on a rehab. What we recommended to the buyer is selling this on contract, and that deed is not transferred until that contract's fulfilled. And fulfilling the contract means taking out a building permit and getting the structure built within 2 years. If those things aren't met in the contract, then the deed never transfers, it stays with the city and minimizes a whole lot of headache and paperwork to try to reclaim property. So that's also being proposed in the sale by contract, or with the sales process would be through contract. Happy to answer any questions, and the public hearing will be again next week. But excited to have some more residential construction and some additional homes.
And not a lot of green left on that map.
Not a lot of green. We've got some infill, outside of this, we've got some infill lots, and lots out in the country club, some private, some private and some still in the original plan. So probably 5 or less lots out there, and then some multifamily lots out on Hawkeye. And always open to discussing with any developers or landowners about additional projects, so.
Okay, motion for resolution 2533.
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Kroger, second by Lindberg.
Roll
Yes,
call
popular.
Rudolph,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Thank you.
And moving on to this item number E, resolution 2534.
First timer.
Something about competitive bids for some welcome signs in the city of Harlan. Haven't seen this one for a while.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Assuming you would like me to comment and update on
Sure,
that?
just throw something out there.
Speak with a picture first. This is what will be put out through our engineer as well as on Facebook, as well as on the league website, and to local contractors for those who have the appetite. And the primary change in this is no longer using any federal funds and DOT processes with this project due to the quagmire over years. So we put this in the next year, in our next year's budget for the project to be completed. And by removing, I'll say, many hurdles and red tape, and to give you an example of that, the specs, which is this is the updated specs. This used to be close to 40 pages. This is now 10 pages. Much more streamlined, provides the city a lot more flexibility. For example, if on the bid we ended up deciding not to accept the landscaping, which is we can so choose not to accept the landscaping and do that on our own at some future point. A lot more flexibility than previously, and hope to achieve a couple of bidders. And the bid deadline, I believe, is the 29th. It'll be all in the published notice. So excited to start this with a fresh start and less restriction.
And the location of these are anticipated to be the same.
No change in locations, and that would be the entrance coming from the south, actually on a flat space out to the west of Van Diest, and then coming in from the north on the backside of the water tower on the hill. So school. Those are the areas that have been in the last 3 cycles we've hit this, but no location change. And need your authorization to get this out for bid again.
The hope and prayer.
Yeah, patience and persistence.
With an intent that on the July 5th, which will be a Wednesday council meeting, that we'll intend to have
Some
hopefully
bidders.
1 or 2.
Less
And
restrictions.
one other comment, it's in the bid notice as well, is just based upon time of year and contractor lead times and schedules to open for as much opportunity, even allowing for a late start date of next spring if that, we'd like to see it completed this fall and before the winter, yet based upon materials and our contractor commitments, if they can fit in their spring schedule, we'd love to entertain that too. So, but it would have to be done by next June. We want it done this fiscal year, or not fiscal year. That's all,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, is there a motion for resolution 2534?
A motion.
Sorry.
Motion by Rudolph, second by Shaven.
Roll call Rudolph,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Under number 4, City Administrator's Report. Take it away, Gene.
Couple of updates, activities going on, project updates with the quite warm weather, especially today as an example. The Harlan Pool is going strong. I've not been by there today, but I can only imagine that was by there a couple times last weekend and it was very active. So hats off to Jill Degas, the pool manager, and Tim for getting that open and running. So that's up and running well. A lot of returning lifeguards, which having a good solid base come back is really, really helpful when you have some continuity there. So I know that's been an asset in getting things launched this year. The street construction projects, sent this map out to you last week. Jonathan will get this to you as well, but this is the overview of, again, the streets that are getting tended to this week with this year with the large street construction project. We'll be meeting with the contractor and engineer next Monday for a status meeting, getting very close to having the curb and gutter work and concrete work done. 7th and Pine, which has been closed since late last week. The last section of that should be poured tomorrow morning, and will definitely be open by the first of next week, if not sooner. So that'll be an excellent improvement as well. The second phase of this will then be the mill and overlay work in the targeted areas here, and the best estimate right now, based upon contractor schedule, assuming no weather impacts and other hiccups in their schedule, is the latter part of June. We don't have an exact date yet. So, and mill and overlay is very similar to what we've seen in past years with mill and overlay work. What's been different this year is the amount of curb and gutter and some sidewalk ADA work. Appreciate the public's understanding and patience with this, yet no gain without a little bit of short-term pain. And once it's complete, I'm sure we'll, especially on some main thoroughfares and travel areas such as Durant, Willow, and Baldwin, extremely noticeable, as well as the 7th and Pine intersection will be, we intend to be a significant improvement there. So, construction updates, wanted to provide those to you. We do have a street meeting this Thursday, a committee meeting, reviewing some requests on Maple Road, as well as consideration some handicap parking downtown with relocation of Milk and Honey. So I know Gina, Richard, and Kyle are involved in that committee meeting Thursday, so just a reminder of that at noon on Thursday. Construction projects, it's excellent that Roger's here tonight, that he's been quite active with a lot of consultations, well, in some of the initial inspections with the scooters and Dollar General projects. So it's difficult not to go down 59 from Cyclone to Chatburn and not see that activity taking place. Structures are out, obviously working at a fast pace. Any updates you might have, Roger? Again, just ask for the public to be mindful of construction in the areas. They aren't traveled areas, but just if there are some increase in traffic or trucks, just be mindful of that.
Scooters and Dollar General are going very rapidly. Everything's going smooth. We also have Family Dollar that is getting some speed up on them too. We also have an addition going on to the Spark and Brake Shop, and within the last week, the new building for Jacobs Corporation has been up, so they're starting to work inside there. So we've got quite a few commercial projects going on right now.
A few other, any comments, questions?
No, you're fine.
That activity?
I scratch it. Twitch.
A few final comments. This morning was the second reading for the Shelby County Board of Supervisors for the resolution to deem EMS an essential service. And the real short and simple to that, there'll be a lot more information coming about if you've not been aware of that. It was an excellent article in last Friday's paper, and I know there'll be a few more articles as well. Yet the overarching theme or comment to that is that many times people think that when you call 911, you're guaranteed an ambulance, and an ambulance is considered essential, and in the state of Iowa, it's not. It was determined 2 legislative sessions ago that by county you can determine EMS an essential service. So law enforcement and fire protection, those are essential, but ambulance service is not, or EMS is not. So that's what this is about. And the second reading took place and was passed unanimously at the board this morning. This third and final reading of that will be next Tuesday at 10 a.m. at the courthouse. And that would then, the intent is to have that on a November ballot on the countywide election. And it needs to pass with a 60% vote. So more to come on that. And Roger is one of the 7 advisory board members. The advisory board chair is Tim Plum. Alex Londo with EMA is on that board as well. And we've invited them to come to the July 18th council meeting to provide an update as well as address any questions. They're going out to some other departments in the county as well as councils over the next month and a half, and wanted them to stop back here to our governing board as well as to the public and give an update as well. But thus far, proceeding well. And again, stay tuned as the public for more information. On the Shelby County website, I'm sure this will be commented on again, but I'll plug it now again as well, that on the department's drop-down menu on the Shelby County org website, on the drop-down menu, there's an EMS Advisory Council. There's links there to frequently asked questions, meeting minutes, the advisory board, and that site is being kept up to date with information as well. So more information will continue to come out about that.
Jean, has there been any opposition really to that? Or I suppose there has in some form.
At the public hearings, there's been no opposition, but just a couple of questions and clarifications from a couple of constituents, but nothing from an opposition standpoint. And the auditor and none of the board of supervisors, at least the meetings I've attended, have indicated that they've had any opposition at this point. Yet continued education and public awareness, and that will happen for the next few months here. Which, important. There's a team and with the advisory council, and I know Janny or Janelle from the hospital is help prepare, as well as a group of students at the school prepare some additional public relations and advertising information that will be utilized in the months of probably August, September.
Very good.
Does that help?
Yeah,
answer the-
thanks.
So much more to come on that. Last 2 items I have to comment on are just general updates. The Dream Playground Reimagine project. The committee met within the past few weeks on that. Anticipate that the month of June and the next 2 months to see an uptick in fundraising activities. At present, we're just over $50,000, which is an excellent milestone to reach. Again, the target for the whole project is close to $1.6 million, and half of that is for playground and surfacing. The other half is for restrooms, parking, infrastructure. And if we'll make determinations based upon fundraising, we break that into two phases. And so more to come on that. And between social media, and there was a group at Art in the Park on Sunday with the Shelby County Wellness Alliance table, which Todd was there, and we had one of the cork boards as well as a donation can and QR code to continue, bless you, to get public awareness out about the project, as well as there's a large banner at Pioneer Park. Right now it's along Pine Street. I believe it'll be moved back down near the playground as well with that. And then lastly, the pickleball courts that were painted last fall, and then we received some money from Shelby County Wellness, Shelby County Health Foundation to purchase paddles, balls, as well as a net. So the net has been put together. It's going to stay on site down there and check in with the library. Library will be the place to check in and out for any other equipment to utilize the racquetball. Pickleball, I'm saying racquetball, to utilize pickleball down at the Cyclone Avenue tennis courts. So that just in the past few days is fully implemented, and checking into the library about, or bring your own balls and paddles down there for some outdoor wellness and recreation. So those are the updates I have. Happy to answer any questions or comments.
Thanks.
I'm good.
Nothing from anybody? Thanks, Gene. I don't have anything under my report. Other than that, seem to be active where I live and where I work still, so that's a good thing. That's the center of Harlan. My son still complains about the parking, which I just smile and
It's a great problem to
keep
have.
it up, people. Keep giving him something to talk about. So, Todd Deline with Shelby County Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Evening. Just a couple of informational items. Like Gene said, here in Shelby County, we're going to have a partnership going on between the Wellness Alliance and the SWITA. It actually starts tomorrow and will run through July 26th. And what they are is rides to the pool and rides to the library. And this is at no cost to the kids who are riding. Here in Harlan, the pickup, they'll drop off at the pool at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then they'll pick up at 3. And if they need to go to the library, they'll drop them off at 1:20 and they'll pick them up at 2:50. And there is a number that you call, 712-243-2518 to make that arrangement. The other thing is Berlin, Defiance, Erling, Westphalia, Panama, and Portsmouth also will all have pickups on a daily basis. Now they'll have one location, like as an example, Erwin, you have to go to the Church of Christ to get picked up. And that one, they'll pick up at like at 11:30 and drop back off at 4:45. And there's a little bit different times, of course, for each town, because the bus is just gonna be making a loop, so.
Tom,
again,
is there some, real active social media person, but is there some social media things we could share off the city of Harlan? That
Yeah,
the city of
yeah.
Harlan could share?
Yeah, there are posts out there underneath Shelby County Information and Ideas right now. There's like a poster that's been put out, and there's also, it's out there on the Chamber Facebook page also.
Yeah, we have our team to share that too.
Yep. So yeah, so it'll be great, and like I said, we'll start up here on the 7th, and kids can get rides. If mom and dad are working and can't get them to the pool, or can't get them to the library, we'll make sure that they get there. So thank you to the Wellness Alliance for that. That's a great partnership. Tomorrow, if you have a chance, at 11 o'clock, we'll be up at the Westridge Apartments for an ambassador visit. They've been doing some remodeling on some apartments over there, so they want to show them off a little bit. The health assessment focus group reminder is Friday morning, 8 to 12 in the Oval Room. So if you registered for that, just a reminder that's going on. If you haven't, please consider doing so, because this is a kind of an important focus group. Really helps set health, what we consider to be the things that we should be focused on for the next year through Shelby County Public Health and through other agencies, we've tried to help set those goals as to what we think are important. So again, that's going to be 8 to 12 Friday in the Oval Room. And just the last thing, just a reminder to the public, the school district does have a garage sale going on, and there's a lot of stuff over there. Runs from 8 to 3 until the 8th, and it's all free will donation. You just go find what you want, pay for it, and take her home. So, like I said, there's a lot of stuff over there. That's it for the chamber.
Okay, thanks, Todd. HMU, Joe Ruschenberg.
Hello, everyone. This month, we've got our electronic and our in-person board meetings switched around, so Thursdays are in-person board meeting. Main reason for that was just to kind of keep our water project moving forward, approving contracts, so we can keep that moving. After our approval consent agenda, kind of our first item is with the raw water system improvements, where we will have a resolution approving construction contract with McCarthy Trenching on that project. Next item is also approval of some additional contract documents for that project. Notice of award, agreement and operating agreement, certificate of insurance, notice to proceed, so forth. That's more approvals just to get McCarthy moving forward. Next item, we are going to approve another acidizing 6 more wells, just to try to get more production out of some existing wells down there. It's a budgeted item for 23-24, so we're just wanting to get that approval, which Cahoy, we got 2 quotes, Cahoy Pumping Service and Lane Christensen Company. Savoy was the low. And like I said, that's a budgeted item for 23-24, but that way at least they'll be ready to go out the gate come July 1. So we'll try to get them in there in July, just to try to stay ahead, make sure we stay out of, water conservation, water watch. Next item, we're gonna kind of approve some plans or review plans for, and I don't know if I've noticed or mentioned this before, we're looking at an office for our electric department, kind of our linemen. Right now, they just kind of sit on some chairs out in the truck bay. They never really did, I don't know why, they never really did have an office per se for them guys to congregate in and work out of. So we're looking at just building something within the truck bay. Try to just keep costs down, instead of adding on. We're just gonna partition the area off inside the truck bay. And that way it's kind of, we're saving some money by just using the shell of the truck bay. So we're gonna kind of go over those plans with the board. We kind of been talking to them a little bit about it. Looking at probably, would like to send bids out probably to contractors after our July 27th meeting. And then would have bids probably back on August 21st. And then approve the lowest responsive bidder on our August 24th meeting. Looking at probably having a completion of probably March or April of next year. More or less trying to spread that out so we get some good numbers. We don't want to try to crunch them down, try to get low numbers as we can. And that way we're looking at probably we think it'll be attractive as probably a good winter job. Like I said, it's going to be inside of our truck bay, so the contractor will be able to work through winter inside that building. So, next item, our general policy 108 is our cash policy, kind of with our CSRs up front. We're just updating that policy, kind of make it a little more simplified. The old policy had some updates that were memos attached to it. So we're just kind of clean up that policy, combine all those updates through the year, so you got kind of just a new clean policy. Next item, resolution, we're going to updating our uniform and boot allowance in our manual benefits and personal policies. Basically, the union wanted to talk about that when we negotiated wages. But we agreed to kind of have the management, and we ended up the management and a member from each, or representative from each utility. We sat down and kind of went through what was needed for FR clothing for the electrical and gas employees, and just kind of working through that to as far as to try to make sure everybody's got the correct protective clothing and gear. And then we're also going to kind of follow what the street department does. Probably go with the kind of the green with the reflective. And then we're going to actually, also brand their shirts also, so everybody's it's kind of consistent, as far as all the employees wearing the same uniform type. We'll have our monthly treasury report. And then just a couple items under my report, just some follow-ups. We mentioned Dollar General. Crews are working this week to get the water and electric services board this week for Dollar General. They're also going to install a conduit for future telecom. The gas service probably will follow in a couple weeks yet. They got the building up here, worked over Memorial Day weekend. Actually, I think they worked every day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we're about to the point there where we can run the gas over there too and get the meter in for that. Electric was in for scooters. Water was just added since the last meeting. I think when I spoke about that, we got the water service in at scooters. And then a couple just other updates on water situation again. With regional water having some issues, they did contact us as far as wanting to purchase some bulk water from us. We had fortunately just kind of talked to Tom and told him that we could help him out. We want to make sure we protect our system, water source here for our customers, so we just kind of told them that we kind of have to just politely bow out from kind of helping them. And then in that same course too, we did talk to a couple of our big ag service customers. And then we asked them also to not allow any outside entities to come in and, purchase water from them. That'd be like Cyclone Seed and then also FS, just so we don't put a strain, like I said, on our system. And then we're in agreement with that too. So, and we are offering, we told them if somebody does approach them, that they could remind them we got that, I guess we call it the reject water from our RO units, that once that's just flushed down to the river, and that's probably 100,000 gallons per day when that plant is running. So we told them that's available for spraying or other uses too, so they could direct them to the water plant for that. Kind of like what we use, same water we use to supplement at the pool. So we gave them at least that option if somebody from out of town comes in. That's it, I guess. Any questions?
I assume Jenny will have the agenda out tomorrow
Yes.
morning.
Yeah. I think she was working on it, unless she'd send it here this afternoon.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it yet, that's why I was
Okay.
double checking and
Yeah.
curious, and
So I would say it'd be out tomorrow.
I will be there.
Okay.
What's your prediction on rain chances? Do you look at that daily and you monitor?
Well, yeah, I noticed what,
What's your meteorological outlooks here?
Channel 6 today, I guess I watched. It was kind of disappointing, they're talking about tomorrow afternoon, I think they're supposed to be kind of coming from the northeast to the southwest of front.
Yes.
It seems that gets past Harlan, and then once that line forms behind it, it's forming like over the Missouri River, it's like after it's past us, that there's a line that forms, so.
We have this dome over our.
We must.
We must have gone there too many times.
I mean, there's chances, I think, every day.
We need it.
Nothing great.
We need it.
It's too bad it's so spotty.
Yeah. The only job where you can be wrong 80% of the time is to get a paycheck.
I know. Exactly.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, sir.
Thanks, Joe.
Any comments?
I neglected to mention a couple of citywide and activities going on. The Friday is Relay for Life, so on the downtown square, very active. So once again, the square will be cordoned off there from, I think it's like 3 until 10. Great community event. And Saturday is the citywide garage sale. Again, just be mindful, I think there's 30 plus garage sailors and Junkin in June, I think is out at the Abundant, or the Fresh Encounter at the church there. And then 2 other events I meant to mention will be Thursday, the 15th of June, so that's just a week out here, that'll be for the Roaring to Harlan night, will be the unveiling of the mural there at the theater, which is the interactive mural. There were a few panels on display at Art in the Park, so that'll be around 6 p.m. is my understanding. And then lastly, Sunday the 18th is the flight breakfast out at the airport. So a lot of activities that are community-wide impact, and many of them are going to touch on some of our city services and supporting those. So we've done a lot of other PR on that, but those that might be seeing it on the rebroadcast here, or just a reminder to you folks as well. So that's all my additional comments.
Okay,
there.
thanks, Gene. Anybody else up here, online?
I have a question for you, I guess, to maybe some confusion. The Dollar General, new Dollar General, that's going up on 59. I've seen this on the Harlan area swap the other day, and I think to separate some confusion, that is not the Dollar General moving from the current location to the other one. I understand it's a new DG Market. Is that what, I'm just trying to settle some confusion, because I'm confused, because I had somebody ask me, and I'm like.
We've had some of the same questions. I personally have not. So we don't know. It will be a Dollar General location at the Cyclone and 59, the new location.
Okay.
Exactly if it's relocating from the present store. I don't know that.
Yeah, we haven't
myself.
notified.
Yeah, that's why I was just curious if there was the official announcement that I maybe had missed.
I've
or
also heard
something.
of chatter around that.
Yeah.
talking with the, but as far as confirmed, no. And I think, Todd and I have discussed that.
Good. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, good question, and
Just sit on the desk. Nothing else from my side. As I don't have any other. Yeah. Unless Gina and Richard want to chime in. That's a no.
Anybody from the public? Okay. Being adjourned.